When I think of local food, I admit that broccoli is not one of the first things that comes to mind. And yet you can't talk about local food, really, without talking about local produce. Anne-Marie Berger tonight reminds us that the old days of the truck farm, they're not quite gone.
There's been a big push to buy local when it comes to your fruits and vegetables. Support your local farmers. And right off Interstate 70, you can do just that. Teese Farm has been supplying fresh vegetables to St. Louis families, restaurants, and grocers from this location on North Hanley Road since 1885. Their family business began as a fruit and vegetable truck farm. In fact, there were many of them back in the day where daily farmers would truck their fruits and vegetables from their farms on the outskirts of the city to the produce market downtown.
There used to be dozens of vegetable farms in the St. Louis County, but now it's down to like 2 or 3. So a lot of it's disappeared just because of housing and everything, because all the truck farms were intentionally put in areas so the transportation costs will be minimum right in the city where all the people are. So because of that, they're the first little farms to go to be bought up for subdivisions and apartments and everything like that. So yeah, you don't get a whole lot out of broccoli. You know, you cut it one time and that's it. Well, same with cabbage too. But
Daryl Teese, along with his brother Dave, are sixth-generation vegetable farmers. 10 of the original 25 acres remain a part of the Hanley farm, but they bucked the trend of disappearing farms and expanded the family business a little further west. They leased an additional 200 acres of land in Maryland Heights, and the buy local motto has worked for their business.
Well, because of that, our business has just grown dramatically especially the last 5 years. So we've been growing at an annual percentage rate of about 20%.
But vegetable farming is much more complicated than simply believing if you plant it, it will grow.
Right, just the sowing of the seed, that starts at the other farm. I start the seeds out at the other farm, like the peppers and the tomatoes that we grow. I start those in little trays, then we put them in bigger packs, and then we put them in the field. So there's a lot to it before it actually gets to your table.
And there isn't a good farmer gene that gets passed from one generation to the next.
I have a degree in engineering and horticulture. My brother is in finance in horticulture. So he takes care of the books, I do the growing, and then and we both know a little bit about everything in between. Here's a big head right here.
Vegetable farming is a science. Crops are needy, and the different types require their own special blend of fertilizer.
This is actually the head where we'll harvest it right down here and cut it off.
And where you plant can determine whether you have a good year or not. When did you plant these? Yeah.
It was the end of May.
What's going to make it a good sweet potato year or a bad sweet potato year? What are the factors that weigh in there?
Well, this year it should have been a bad year because of all the rain. But because this particular field is on a sandy ridge right here, it drained really super well. But too much water sweet potatoes do not like, so they end up being kind of long and skinny instead of being more plump and filling out like that. So this was not a good sweet potato year, but because this was planted where it was, they're actually pretty good.
The fields at this farm are working double time. They're harvested twice a year. There are the spring crops and the fall crops.
Chinese cabbage.
Which means from spring to fall, Daryl and his crew are on a constant planting and picking schedule.
We plant so much stuff every week because when you're in a commercial farm, you've got to have a continuous supply. So in your garden, you know, you plant one time and then you get all this at one time. So we have to plant continuously to have it coming in all the time.
And we have different schedules for different things. We've got our early tomatoes, our main season tomatoes, our late tomatoes, and you got to all have those spaced out.
The Teese family has outlasted many of the other vegetable farmers in the area, and they have found the perfect land with excellent drainage to expand. But just like to the farmers before them, commercial development is always a threat.
Yeah, we're always concerned. And it's a shame, but it's like we don't have any right to tell our landowners that they can't sell. So it's like, you know, they've waited their whole life for a big windfall like that. Normally we just bend it over.
So for now, they'll continue to do what they've been doing for the last 123 years.
And give it to you.
Oh.
It's a bouquet. There you go. Did you get that?
That was so nice. It's not even Valentine's Day.
I guess we're engaged now.